If two people are truly meant to share a life, one pattern shows up again and again. It doesn't matter how different they are or how random the meeting seems. Most people think destiny looks soft at the start, instant comfort, easy love, that warm feeling like everything finally clicks. Two people meet, smile, and somehow just know. But real destiny rarely enters like a gentle sunrise. It slips in quietly, then turns the whole room upside down. It doesn't bring peace first, it brings disruption. It shakes routines, it questions beliefs, it exposes what was hidden. And if you've felt that, stay with me, because this is where most people misunderstand the sign. When two people are genuinely meant for each other, life doesn't rush them into a perfect relationship. It often does the opposite. It creates distance first. It pulls them apart. It makes timing messy. It forces both people to face themselves. That isn't cruelty. It's preparation. Because before two destined people can really come together, something in them has to change. Source. So what is the one thing that always happens? It's not calm. It's not comfort. It's recognition. Deep recognition. You meet someone and something inside you reacts before your mind can label it. You might not feel safe. You might not feel sure. You might even feel uneasy, yet you feel seen in a way that rattles you, like they notice parts of you usually keep covered, even from yourself. This is confusing because people expect love to feel soothing, but destiny often feels uncomfortable at first, not because the connection is wrong, but because it reflects what you've been avoiding. They mirror your fears, your wounds, and your unfinished emotional work. They don't just see the public version of you, they see deeper layers, and that can feel threatening. That's why these connections feel intense instead of easy. Awareness comes before closeness. And here's a retention truth. If you've been wondering why it didn't start smoothly, keep listening. This next part explains the distance. Source people who are meant to end up together often do not stay together in the beginning. Life separates them early on, not by accident, for reasons. One person may still be carrying old pain. One may fear vulnerability. One may not know their own worth yet. One may love from fear instead of wholeness. Sometimes both are still unfinished. And unfinished people, even with good intentions, can hurt each other. So life steps in and says, not yet. It creates space so the connection doesn't get destroyed too soon. The separation, as painful as it feels, is part of the design. It isn't punishment, it's training. And when this kind of separation happens, the pain doesn't feel like normal heartbreak. It's not just sadness, it's confusion. It's like losing your inner compass. You don't only miss them, you feel like something inside you went quiet or went missing. That's because these connections aren't mainly tied to ego. They're tied to growth. And growth doesn't ask politely. It demands honesty. Source. When they leave, you start looking inward, sometimes for the first time in a long time. You notice your fear of being abandoned. You see how much you chase validation. You recognize patterns like overgiving to keep people close. You catch yourself avoiding responsibility for your emotional needs. These realizations aren't comfortable, but they are necessary. The pain isn't meant to break you. It's meant to wake you up. Even in silence, even with no contact, something shifts. Logic might tell you to move on, but inside, you begin to change. You get more aware of your boundaries. You get more honest about what you feel. Things you used to accept start to feel wrong. Situations you tolerated start to drain you. People you once chased lose their shine. You begin to want depth, not quick attention. Real connection, not temporary comfort. And you might not even realize that this growth started the moment they appeared. They triggered a process inside you. Not obsession, reflection. That's the difference. Don't click away. This next part explains why it can feel unreplaceable. Source A, connection like this doesn't vanish just because time passes. It stays in quiet ways. It shows up when you heal, when you outgrow old versions of yourself, when you have sudden emotional breakthroughs that seem to come from nowhere. You think of them not because you're lonely, not because you need attention, but because something deeper in you knows the experience had meaning, and that meaning hasn't fully settled yet. This isn't weakness, it isn't being stuck, it's integration. Your inner world is trying to place the lesson where it belongs. That's why many people try to replace it and still feel something missing. They meet someone new, they stay busy, they laugh again. Life looks normal. Yet under the surface there's a subtle emptiness. Not because the new person is bad and not because you didn't try. It's because the new connection doesn't reach the same depth. It doesn't press the same hidden buttons. This kind of bond doesn't compete with other relationships. It exists on another level. Not just attraction, not just chemistry. It's about evolution. Source. While the two of you are apart, life is shaping you in different ways, often through discomfort. Distance isn't a punishment, it's a classroom. One person learns boundaries. They learn to say no without guilt. They stop giving more than they receive. They learn that love doesn't require self-erasure. They learn that choosing themselves isn't selfish, it's required. The other person learns accountability. They learn that silence can hurt. They learn that avoiding emotions doesn't erase them. They learn that actions have consequences, even when intentions were unclear. They learn that connection needs responsibility. One learns self-respect and stops accepting uncertainty as proof of love. They stop waiting for clarity that never comes. They start valuing consistency. The other learns emotional courage. They learn to sit with discomfort instead of running. They learn to face vulnerability instead of escaping it. One learns to stop chasing. The other learns to stop running. Both are changing, but neither can see the full picture yet. That's intentional. If you saw everything too soon, growth would stop. The unknown creates space for transformation. Source. Before any true reunion, illusions have to fall. Life slowly removes false beliefs, often painfully. Beliefs like love should never be hard. If they cared, they'd always stay. Love must be earned through suffering. Someone else will complete me. Those ideas feel comforting, but they poison real love. They create dependence, they create fear, they create expectations no human can carry. So life strips them away through silence, distance, disappointment, and long moments alone with your thoughts. You start seeing yourself clearly. You notice where you abandoned yourself. You learn that love isn't meant to save you. Another person can't fill spaces you haven't healed. Real connection starts with wholeness, not emptiness. Then a moment comes when something inside you shifts. You stop needing them. You stop searching for signs. You stop waiting for a message to change your life. And that moment isn't bitter. It's peaceful. That's when destiny starts moving again, not because you forced it, but because you released the outcome. Source. Real love isn't dependence, it's choice. When both people can stand alone, love becomes a desire, not a survival tool. That's when alignment can happen. If they return different, more aware, more capable of something deeper than before. And if they don't return, the lesson still remains. You are no longer the same person who entered the connection. You're stronger, clearer, more grounded. You've absorbed what you were meant to learn. And if they do come back into your life, it often feels quietly different, not dramatic, not loud. It feels steady. Your body relaxes before your mind understands why. Less tension, less fear, less ego trying to prove something. You're not performing or guarding in the old way. Honesty shows up naturally. Boundaries are respected. Silence is handled with care. No games, no testing, no confusion about where you stand, just recognition again. Only now it comes with maturity behind it. And here's the hard truth. Even with all of this, sometimes those people never return. Source. That doesn't mean the connection was fake. Some destined connections aren't meant to last forever. Some arrive to change you, then leave once their role is complete. Some come to break cycles passed down through generations. They expose where love was confused with sacrifice, where attachment was confused with safety, where silence was confused with peace. They bring buried pain to the surface so it can be healed instead of repeated. Others come to teach self-love when you've neglected yourself. They mirror how you allow yourself to be treated. You see where you settle, where you shrink, where you abandon your needs to keep someone close. They teach you that love should not cost your dignity, your voice, or your self-respect. These lessons hurt, but they protect your future. Destiny doesn't exist to defend comfort. Comfort can keep you stuck. Destiny protects potential. It will allow your heart to break before it lets your soul disappear slowly. It will remove people before it lets you lose yourself trying to keep them. So if you're thinking of someone right now, let this land. You don't need to chase, force, or prove anything. What's truly meant for you won't demand you shrink. It will ask for growth, honesty, and courage. And no matter what happens next, nothing was wasted. Source. If two people are truly meant to be together, one pattern keeps showing up, no matter how different their lives look. It doesn't matter if the meeting feels random, awkward, or too late. Most people think destiny should look gentle at the start. They expect instant comfort, easy love, a smooth path. They picture two people meeting and feeling calm right away, like everything finally makes sense. But real destiny often arrives in a quieter way, and then it shakes everything. It doesn't bring peace first. It brings disruption. It disturbs your routine. It challenges your beliefs. It makes you question what you thought you wanted. If you've ever felt that, don't skip this, because the first sign is rarely what people think it is. When two people are genuinely meant for each other, life often does not push them together fast. Instead, it creates distance. It pulls them apart. It puts pressure on their weak spots. It breaks illusions they didn't even know they were living inside. And that isn't cruelty. It's preparation. Because before two people can truly come together, they usually have to be changed first. Source people keep waiting for destiny to feel soft. But destiny is often more like a storm that clears the air. It moves in and exposes what was hidden. It forces honesty. It doesn't ask politely. It interrupts. And the strange part is this: the more meaningful the connection is, the less easy it can feel at the start. Not because the connection is wrong, but because it is real enough to touch your deepest layers. Life doesn't rush two people into a future just because their hearts feel pulled. It often slows the story down on purpose. It stretches time. It creates obstacles. It makes both people face themselves when they would rather focus on romance. That is the pattern. The universe doesn't always say, "Here, have love." Sometimes it says, "First, become the kind of person who can hold love without losing yourself." So if your story started with confusion, distance, or timing that hurt, that alone doesn't prove it was meaningless. Sometimes the shaking is the signal. Stay with me, because the next part explains the one thing that shows up before closeness does. Source. The first sign of a deep, destined connection is usually not comfort. It is recognition. You meet someone and something inside you answers before your mind can explain it. Your thoughts may lag behind, but your body reacts. Your chest tightens, your focus sharpens, you feel exposed. You may not even feel secure or certain. You might feel nervous. You might feel thrown off, yet you feel seen in a way that unsettles you. Like they notice parts of you you normally keep hidden, even from yourself. That can feel confusing because people expect love to soothe them. But destiny often makes you aware before it makes you close. And awareness can feel sharp. This discomfort doesn't automatically mean the person is wrong for you. Often it means the opposite. It means they are reflecting something true. They mirror fears you've buried. They touch wounds you pretend are healed. They show you emotional work you postponed for years. They don't just see the version of you that performs for the world. They sense deeper layers. That's why it can feel intense, not easy. And if you felt that intensity, wait. This next part is the reason many meant-to-be people separate early on. Source. People who are meant to end up together often do not stay together in the beginning. Life separates them early. It happens so often that it feels like a rule. One person may still be carrying old pain. One may be scared to be vulnerable. One may not yet understand their own worth. One may love from fear instead of wholeness. Sometimes both are still unfinished, and unfinished people can hurt each other even when their intentions are good. So destiny steps in and creates space. It says, "Not yet." It knows that if they come together too soon, they might damage what could have become something strong. The separation feels unfair, but it can be part of the design. It isn't punishment. It's preparation. And the pain of this separation often feels different from normal heartbreak. It's not only sadness, it's confusion. It feels like losing direction, like someone removed a piece of your inner map. You don't just miss them. You feel like something inside you is missing, like your system is searching for a meaning you can't name. That's because this kind of connection is not only about romance, it is tied to growth. And growth has a strange way of arriving through loss. Source. When a connection like this breaks or pauses, it forces you to look inward. It pushes you toward the parts of yourself you avoided. You start noticing your fear of abandonment. You see how much you seek validation. You recognize habits like giving too much just to keep people close. You notice how you ignore your own needs to avoid conflict. You see the ways you try to earn love by overworking, over-explaining, or overweighting. These realizations sting, but they are necessary. The pain is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to awaken you. Even if there is silence, even if there is no communication, even if your ego begs for answers, something still shifts inside you. Logic may tell you to move on, but your inner world keeps changing anyway. You get more aware, more careful, more honest. Boundaries become clearer. Things you once accepted start to feel heavy. People you once chased start to look smaller. You begin to want depth instead of surface attention, real connection instead of quick comfort. And you may not notice the source at first, but the change often began the moment they entered your life. They acted like a trigger. This kind of bond doesn't create endless obsession. It creates reflection, and reflection changes everything. Source. You start asking different questions. Why do I love the way I do? Why do I fear closeness? Why do I settle for less than I deserve? Why do I ignore red flags just to feel chosen? Why do I confuse intensity with safety? These questions don't feel romantic, but they reshape you. Destined connections work beneath the surface. The person may disappear from your daily life, but their impact stays. It changes how you see relationships. It changes how you see yourself. It raises your standards, not only for others, but for your own behavior too. Over time, you stop repeating old cycles. You stop chasing people who can't meet you emotionally. You stop pretending confusion is normal. You stop accepting hot and cold treatment as depth. You start valuing peace, honesty, and mutual effort. This growth can feel natural, even though it was born from pain. And that is one way you know the connection mattered, not because it lasted, but because it shifted you. Don't click away. This next part explains why you can laugh again, date again, and still feel like something is unfinished deep down. Source. Many people try to replace a connection like this. They meet someone new. They start a new relationship. They fill their days with activity. They distract themselves with conversations, routines, and plans. For a while it works. Life looks normal. They smile. They socialize. They move forward. But beneath the surface, something feels incomplete. A subtle emptiness that doesn't fully leave. Not because the new person is bad. Not because the new relationship has no effort. It happens because the new connection does not awaken the same depth. It doesn't challenge the same parts of the soul. A destined connection is not built only on attraction. It's not just chemistry. It's not only comfort. It is about evolution. It forces honesty. It forces you to face yourself. That's why it can feel unreplaceable. Not because no one else is valuable, but because this bond operated on a different level. It didn't just entertain your heart. It trained your inner world, and it keeps showing up quietly, especially during moments when you are growing. You think of them during emotional breakthroughs, during nights when the room is still and your thoughts are loud. You think of them when you outgrow an old version of yourself, not from weakness, from integration. Source distance is where destiny often does its work. Distance is not always rejection. Sometimes it is a classroom. While two people are apart, life shapes them separately, often through discomfort.